Alrighty, YouTube, Niner Empire, what is going down here? Welcome back to another video. New lid, Super Bowl patch, conference championship hats, super slick hat. I got this as soon as we won the NFC championship because I wanted it to be here in enough time, and it came, I think, within 4 or 5 days. So definitely going to be rocking this next Sunday. But look, man, we're a week away from all the glory, one win away from being crowned Super Bowl champions for the 6th time in franchise history. I feel like as Niners fans, we've kind of been talking about this quest for 6 things since 2012, ever since we went to the Super Bowl and played the Baltimore Ravens. But look, I mean, this is our 3rd Super Bowl since 2012. I mean, they say 3rd time's a charm. We'll see what happens. But here's the thing, and I obviously there's kind of this lingering question that's kind of been out there about if this is the 49ers' best chance of winning the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, we have been one of the most best. We've really been the best franchise in terms of roster and things of that nature ever since the Kyle Shanahan era, really. I mean, obviously the first couple years it was slow. We had Brian Hoyer as the quarterback, and there wasn't a lot of things in place, but hints to why like Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were given big contracts when they came to the Niners. Jed York was willing to wait for, them to develop this team, to build the team, to do it in the draft and then in free agency. But look, we're staring at another opportunity to reach a peak, to get to the top of the mountain here. And I think when you look at everything, right, like this is the best roster we have had in the Kyle Shanahan era, without a doubt. It's better than the 2019 team that was in the Super Bowl. I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with me out there on that. This is by far the best team that we've had since Kyle Shanahan's taken over. So, obviously, the question then rings, is this the best chance the Niners have at winning a Super Bowl? Here's the thing. I think with the current core group of players that we have, this is the best team that we're going to have probably in the Kyle Shanahan era. Because here's the thing. Yes, we still have those core players under contract for years to come. Bosa, Fred Warner, George Kittle. Deebo Samuel, I believe, has one more year remaining on his contract after this year. Like, we still have the core group of players for some time. But in terms of this current team sticking, we're probably not going to have Chase Young next season. Brandon Ayuk's going to be a free agent. Now, I think a lot of people think that the Niners will bring Brandon Ayuk back, and they should. I think that's the expectation, but you can't keep both Brandon Ayuk and Chase Young. So the point I'm getting at is, these core players may still be here for, the next 2 to 3 years, but at the same time, we're not going to have this same team come next year. If we don't win it this season, it might be fair to wonder if it will happen for this core group of players and this coaching staff ever. Now, obviously, under Kyle Shanahan, the Niners have been in the mix for some time now. Like, they've been to 4 of the past 5 NFC championships. They've been to now 2 Super Bowls within that time period. And as successful as they have been, the NFL is designed for teams to rise and fall and go through these peaks and valleys. Teams don't tend to stay down for long, and they don't need to stay on top forever. With the salary cap and free agency and the league's quest for parity to make championship windows very brief, it's you look at Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, what they once had, and currently now with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Those guys are exceptions. But obviously, just because the Niners are here now and they're on top of the NFC right now, it's no guarantee that they're going to stay here on top, or get back the next year. It's always it's so hard for teams to get back, to the pinnacle spot, on top of the world, 2 years in a row. Like Jason Kelsey said it, and the Kelsey documentary I watched earlier this offseason, but he talked about how, getting to the Super Bowl is one thing, but, the following season and getting back to the Super Bowl is 10 times harder than it is, the year before. Because here's the thing. I mean, when you look at, like, the injuries this season and how teams have struggled and this and that, like, it's so, like, look at what the Eagles, look what they kind of did. Look what happened to them this year. Like, they started off 10-1. They had the NFL's best record for 85% of the year, and then, ever since that Week 13 game when they played the Niners, everything just kind of fell apart for them. And I believe they went 1-6 following games after playing the Niners. But I mean, here's the thing. I think this Niners team knows how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl. They know how hard it is to get there, let alone to win the Super Bowl. And this team has been there. Obviously, there's some of the players on the team, Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk. Like, those guys weren't on the team when we played the Chiefs the last time. But the majority of this team was here. Trent Williams, we didn't have Trent Williams. It was Joe Staley at the time. But Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, Deebo Samuel was a rookie that season. George Kittle was a young and upcoming tight end that season. So, like, this group of players that we have, they've came a long way for one, and they've developed, so much more since that first Super Bowl. And I think this go around, like, the 49ers, they have to acknowledge, that being on the top isn't like a forever thing. And this team understands that. They know that. I mean, look what happened after they lost the Super Bowl. The following year, they didn't make the playoffs. They ended up getting back to the NFC Championship in 2021, all to fall short to the Rams. And then you go into 2022 with the chip on your shoulder, and, they get back to the NFC Championship, but then Brock Purdy gets hurt, and we don't have a quarterback in the NFC Championship, and we stood no chance after that. So they understand, like, each year's different, man, with injuries and this and that. So this team knows, and this team's aware, of how hard it is to get back here. But here's the thing. The 49ers, we also have to accept the reality that their own roster may never be as good as it is right now. And that's kind of what I was just talking about. Like, in the coming years, they're going to have to deal with, core players getting another year older. Trent Williams, George Kittle, McCaffrey, Bosa. Now, obviously, McCaffrey, Bosa, Kittle, those guys are all still very young. Trent Williams is getting up there, but he's also publicly came out and said that he has no intentions of retiring and that he's going to be back next year as well. But either way, like, they get older, right? Like, you never know what could happen with guys getting hurt next year and things of that nature. Obviously they're going to have to figure out who they can re-sign and who they can't under the salary cap. While, they're also going to be dealing with paying Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy is going to make every bit of $40 million plus a year. How you guys may think that's a lot of money, and it is. It's absolutely a lot of money. But when you look at guys like Daniel Jones, like, that guy's making $40 million a year, you bet that Brock Purdy's going to be making just the same amount as Daniel Jones, probably more, to be honest. And right now they're getting strong quarterback play for the cost of a 7th-round draft pick. Now, obviously, that's given the Niners a humongous salary cap flexibility in the building, and building out the rest of the roster, like bringing in Javon Hargrave, trading for Chase Young, bringing in Christian McCaffrey. So, like, Purdy playing the way he's playing and being as cheap as he is, like, it's helped the 49ers so much. And obviously, next year and for years to come, like, the 49ers salary caps is only going to look more, like, it's only going to be different, right? You have to pay Brock Purdy, and you're going to have to figure out what to do with Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel's contract's going to be up here soon. So this team's without a doubt going to look different. So, I mean, is this the best chance the 49ers have at winning a Super Bowl? I think a lot of people could say absolutely. I think I'm kind of in the middle. I think this is probably, I definitely agree in terms of like this season being their best chance at winning the Super Bowl, just because of how much stuff goes into, the salary cap and like I said, each season is different when it comes to injuries and things of that nature. So I think I could agree with that. I think this is by far the best chance that they're going to have at winning a Super Bowl. Do I think they could be back? Absolutely. I think they have the best roster in the NFL, and they're probably going to have the best roster in the NFL for the next couple seasons. But at the end of the day, man, like, that's not a forever type of thing, right? Like everything, you're going to have to re-sign guys, and guys may get bigger contracts from other teams, and they may elect to go to a different team. So each season's going to be different. And when it comes to this current roster, like, it's going to be the best roster that Kyle Shanahan has ever had. So is this the best chance of them winning a Super Bowl? I think it is. Absolutely. I think we have a better shot to win it this year than what we did, 4 years ago in 2020 when we played the Chiefs the first time. So, I mean, it's one of those things, man. Like, if they can win it this year, as fans, how we're gonna be set for a minute. Like we're gonna be high on that Super Bowl win all of next season, no matter what happens. Like, you're here, you've gotten this far, finish the job. It's gonna be their third Super Bowl in a row, or not in a row, but in the last 12 years, and they've lost 2 already. So again, third time's got to be the charm, man. They got to go out, play their best football, play their best 60 minutes that they've ever played in their life. And if they win it, it's going to pay off. Everything's going to be rewarding. It's the most prestigious award in all of football, to win a Super Bowl. How they win it, I don't care. Just win the game. Find a way to win the game. And again, I mean, we're going up against a dynasty in the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, they've been a dynasty ever since Patrick Mahomes has taken over. And I think everybody knows and is aware of how I think everybody's aware and understands that, this is it's going to be tough, right? Like, this is not going to be a walk in the park. Have the Chiefs struggled this year? Absolutely. Have the Niners struggled this year? Absolutely. Now, I think you could definitely say that the Chiefs have had, they probably struggled a little bit more than what the Niners have in totality, but at the same time, none of that stuff matters. Because, again, the Chiefs are a different football team in the playoffs. The Niners are a different football team in the playoffs. So, 1 week, one more game, one more win, man. I mean, to be crowned champions of the world. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a war, absolutely. But I think there are absolutely ways that the Niners can exploit this Chiefs team and take advantage of it. There are plenty of ways out there how the 49ers can win. They have the better roster going into this game. They have the better team overall going into this game. But one thing that will always separate the Chiefs from every NFL team out there is Patrick Mahomes. He's the best quarterback in the National Football League. A lot of people talk about how he doesn't have as much weapons as he did, in years prior. Yeah, that's absolutely true, but it doesn't matter, because when you have a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who, if he retired right now, would very well be looked at as a top 5 quarterback of all time. When you have a guy like that, you don't need top-tier weapons. Like Patrick Mahomes can make things work with what he's got in Rashee Rice and Kadarius Toney and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. So, and that's also a testament to how good Andy Reid is as a coach. Like, Kyle Shanahan, if there's any coach he's struggled against, it is Andy Reid. So, this has got to be a group effort, man. Both sides of the ball. Obviously we're going to be getting into the keys to win the game in the preview video later on this week. But is this the best chance that the 49ers have at winning a Super Bowl? Let me know in the comments down below. To me personally, I think it absolutely is. I don't know how it wouldn't be. Again, I don't think there's ever going to be a time where this roster is as good as it currently is right now. And the Niners know that, man. Like, this team knows that. And this team has came a long way since losing the last Super Bowl in 2020 against the Chiefs. It's time for vengeance. It's time to get the monkey off their back, and it's time to be crowned champions of the world. It's one more win, one more game. Play your best football you've ever played in your life, and obviously, be rewarded with the ultimate award, Super Bowl champion. So, obviously, let me know your guys' thoughts, though, in the comments down below. I just wanted to come on here and kind of give my 2 cents because I keep seeing people bring this up. But, yeah, absolutely. Like, I think without a doubt, this has got to be the best chance the Niners have had in the Kyle Shanahan era of winning the Super Bowl. So, obviously, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Is this the best chance you guys think of the Niners of winning a Super Bowl? And, yeah, with that being said, though, as always, go Niners. Stay tuned for the content this week. We're going to ramp it up a little bit more. But, yeah, as always, go Niners, man. 1 week away, 1 win away, 60 minutes away on Sunday from being crowned world champion. So, job's not finished. Obviously, this team knows that. This team's going to come with a vengeance and obviously hopefully get the job done. So, as always, go Niners. I'll see you guys in the next one.